for you. But I thought today I would just show you how I basically spend hours and hours of my day when you guys are not on Facebook looking at my videos here when I'm doing it. So here's what I'm doing today, and I will continue to do it for hours and hours and hours and hours until the book is done. So if we get in closer here, here's the page for upcoming issue. We've got 4 panels. Each one of these already been inked, right? So we have a guy throwing some pages at somebody because they're having some mad dialogue, and then we get into a close-up, and when one of the guys leaves, we see when they smile, they have sort of like monster teeth. So my job now is to go in there and ink this page here. So let's take it here. We'll bring it down. We'll get it light. Let me turn this one off. And when I put a layer on, I need to ink it. So let me just sort of show you what it is that I'm thinking of. The outside, well, I gotta get black. The outside of the face should always be a little bit thicker. So when I'm doing it, whether I'm blowing it up or not, I always use thicker lines here. Why? Because you've got consider the outside of a face to be the frame, right? And you want the frame to be just a little more bold than you have. Again, I just put some little squiggly lines that are in there. And now you've got the ears again. Here's the other thing too. They don't all have to be the same size. So even though I'm making them bold, all of them don't have to be bold. But again, just assume there's a little bit of a light. So if there's a light coming from the top, I'm going to make the bottom a little bit thicker so that it feels like that there's a little bit of shadow coming in there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of shadow in the ear. Then I'm going to make some skinny lines. And then I'm going to put another little thick line up in here. Right, let's go big so you guys can see it. I'll go a little bit thicker. And then I sort of just draw some lines here, and then I'll do a couple fade lines. And that just makes it so it feels like the light's sort of hitting it in a different spot. And then I'll come in a couple over here. And the same would happen too if I'm going to the mouth. So let's jump over to the mouth, right? I'm going to go into the corner of the mouth, and I want the corner of the mouth to have more shadow, just like all of us when we smile. So I'm going to get a little bit thicker in the corner of the mouth. I'm going to spin this now so you can... And then come up in here, and I'm going to make the mouth be way thicker than any of the lines that I'm going to use for the teeth as I eventually get to the teeth. So again, I don't want all these lines that are a little bit thicker to be the same, because otherwise it would just look like a cartoon drawing. So that you need to vary your line. They call it line weight. So now we'll come back here, and usually what happens is when you get into the inside of your mouth, it starts to get a little bit darker. So sometimes you can come in here and you can sort of get a little bit darker. And now, you know, as I get in here, I need to do the exact same thing. I need to go a little bit lighter now, so I'll get my pen to go skinnier. And then here's the gum line. But again, we all have gums. We all have gums that get a little bit thicker. So the key is to make sure that your lines are not all the same. So I don't know if you can see this, but I have pressure. I can do pressure. And the harder I press, the thicker it is, and the lighter I press, the thinner it is. So I go light, 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 thick. And I'm just trying to give a little bit of variety to the line so that when you see the line a little bit later, as a mass of lines, then it's all going to look a little bit different. And now look, as the teeth are starting to go back into the mouth, I'm now going to come in here and I'm going to make these lines just a little bit thicker. Why? Because we have shadows. This has to now start shadowing into the back of his mouth back up in here. I'll come in here and darken this up, and then very quickly we'll end this because, again, I'm going to be spending hours just on this mouth. We'll do the same over here at the bottom teeth. I make it a little bit thicker down here, and then I come in with my thin lines up in here. We'll get it up in black, and we'll get nice. Then we throw some little rotten stuff like he hasn't brushed his teeth. And then I'll probably even do a little bit of shadows up in there. But we'll get that. Here's some black that'll come in and fill in the teeth. Let me go here real quick. And I'll even cut some other lines with white. I don't know if you can see that. So, but all of what I just did is only going to be this big. Right? It's only going to be this big in the comic book. Here's my hand. It's going to barely be bigger than my hand. So all that work that I just did, you will barely be able to see it. Right? But because of the magic of being able to do it on a computer, I can blow it up. You can get that kind of detail that basically now gets shrunk down to the size of my hand here. And I'm going to have to finish that all with this, and all with this, and all this other work has already been done. So it's how I spend my days, how you get 200 and 70 issues of Spawn. It takes you over 20 years to accomplish that. And then you get old and you start getting bags under your eyes and gray, but you're still in the comic book business and it's not bad. So anyways, and you guys have any questions, let me know. We'll see if we can get back to you. You guys enjoy Christmas. Have a good time.